Hi everyone, welcome to Live Interactive English. I am Karen.
And I'm Matt. Today we're talking about Turkish coffee, a taste of culture, and it's part 2 today.
That's right, and we learn a lot of interesting facts about Turkish coffee in part 1, right?
Yeah, we learned about how they make coffee in Turkey and how they enjoy it with a glass of water and with some Turkish delights.
That's right, and then I think the culture itself, it just seems so fascinating. But I have never been to Turkey before. Have you been to Turkey?
Yes, I have been to Turkey, mostly just Istanbul though, the capital, the largest city in Turkey.
Okay.
And I think it's a fascinating city, very interesting because it's actually half of the cities in Europe and half of the cities in Asia.
Wow, so it's actually in 2 different continents, right?
Yeah, and it's not only just physically in 2 different continents, it also feels like culturally, you have a very big mix of like European and also, Middle Eastern cultures mixed together, making up this unique culture in Turkey, unique feeling of the city. And the food and drinks.
Well, definitely. And I heard that other than the Turkish coffee, Turkish tea is also another big thing in Turkey. I heard that, in Turkey, a lot of people drink Turkish tea multiple times a day. And whereas Turkish coffee, they would serve coffee maybe like on a special occasion or when they have guests over. Wow.
Yeah, so I think as a tourist to Turkey, you're maybe more likely to experience Turkish coffee because most people will see you as a guest to their country. So maybe people will take you for coffee, and while they're at home, they enjoy their own tea.
But I would love to try some Turkish tea. I mean, they drink it multiple times a day. It has to be good, right?
Must be delicious.
Okay, well, today we're going to learn more about Turkish coffee.
Enjoying coffee socially is a key element of Turkish culture. For example, after becoming engaged, a woman will serve her fiancé and his parents coffee. However, before she does this, she will put salt in her fiancé's coffee only. To show he's ready to marry the woman, the man must finish his coffee without making any complaints or funny faces. Turkish people say that a good cup of coffee will be remembered for 40 years. This saying is based on an old story about a Turkish coffee seller.
So we're looking at part 2 of Turkish coffee, a taste of culture. So we already learned a lot of fun facts about Turkish coffee. I wonder what we're going to learn next.
I wonder too. I think we're going to learn a bit more about how it fits into the culture there in Turkey.
Okay, well, let me dive into the article. Enjoying coffee socially is a key element of Turkish culture. Okay, so enjoying coffee socially means to socialize, means to, interact with your friends or family, right? And that is a key element. That brings us to our first vocabulary word, element, and that is a noun. So element means a part of something. So in our example sentence, it says, our teacher wants us to make a list of common elements between children's stories.
Yeah, and in the article there, it said that it was a key element. And a key, usually we use a key something as meaning the most important. So for example, if you're talking about something and you make a key point,
that's right.
That means it's the most important point. Also, in terms of building like old houses with stones, the one at the middle that's a triangle is called the keystone because it holds everything together. It's the most important stone.
The most important element.
So this is the most important element.
Okay.
For example, after becoming engaged, a woman will serve her fiancé and his parents coffee. So that means he's just asked her, will you marry me? And she has said yes.
But before the marriage, right?
Before the marriage. And she just served her fiancé and his parents coffee. So fiancé also means someone that you are going to marry is your fiancé. So once they've said yes, they are fiancés. And that brings us to a vocabulary word, which is engaged. Engaged is an adjective, and it means two people that are going to get married. So once once maybe the man has asked the woman, will you marry me? And she says yes, hopefully. Let's say. So if she says yes, then those two are engaged.
That's right. It might sometimes take a year or a couple of months until they actually have their wedding day, until they actually get married, right?
That's right. Or as in our example sentence, Joseph and Cora were engaged for 3 years before they got married.
So that's right. So there's no certain rule that, you have to be engaged for how long before you get married, right?
I think, yeah, but most people would think, I think 3 years is longer than usual. Usually, I think people get engaged for a year or less. Usually.
That's right.
I don't know what happened with those two.
Okay. And however, before she does this, she will put salt in her fiance's coffee only. What? Putting salt in someone's coffee? That does not sound delicious at all. To show he's ready to marry the woman, the man must finish his coffee without making any complaints or funny faces. That is such a cute custom.
It does sound cute, but I wonder, it's salt. I like salt on my food. Wouldn't maybe a little bit of salt in your coffee?
In your coffee, though?
But it's like bitter and salty. It might not be that bad.
But I wonder if they really want to play a trick, on the fiance. Maybe they will add a few spoonfuls of salt. And then that would be really interesting. And then say, if you really want to marry me, you're just supposed to smile and finish your coffee.
Ooh, and the man has to drink it without making any complaints. So complaint is another vocabulary word, and it's a noun. And a complaint is when you say something bad about something you don't like about something, you make a complaint. So if you were to drink that coffee and go, oh, this tastes salty, that's a complaint that you made.
And then she wouldn't want to marry him, right?
Yeah, you're not getting married anymore. So the example sentence says, if you want your store to be successful, you should address the customer complaints.
And that is really important if you're running a business. Whenever you have any customer complaints, you're supposed to listen to their complaints and kind of try to improve your service or improve yourself so the customers will want to come back again.
The customer's always right.
That's right.
So when the customer complains or makes a complaint, you better make sure to fix that problem.
Exactly. So, Turkish people say that a good cup of coffee will be remembered for 40 years. This saying is based on an old story about a Turkish coffee seller. So I guess we'll learn about the story after the break.
Right? And I guess we'll see you after the break.
Hello， 大家好，我是 Hanny， 今天要继续介绍土耳其咖啡。课文写到，在社交场合享用咖啡是土耳其文化的重要元素。那么，例如说，在订婚之后呢，女子会端咖啡给未婚夫和未婚夫的这个父母来喝。不过在此之前，女子会在未婚夫只有他的咖啡里面来放盐。那男方为了表示说他准备好要娶这名女子，必须把咖啡喝完，不能有任何怨言，脸上也不能露出为难或是不悦的表情哦。好，我们来看单字 element。element 它表示要素、元素或是成分。那文中用到 a key element 来指一个重要元素。那么 key 在这边是当形容词，形容关键的、最重要的。Matt 老师则提到 keystone， 在 key 后面接 stone 变成这个名词，它可以指这个砖石拱门顶上的这个拱顶石，或者是拱心石。那也可以用来表达基础啊、重点、主旨。下一个单字 engaged， 它是形容订婚的。那么 complaint 它是当名词，表示抱怨、投诉。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来学这个重点是 to 加上原形动词，也就是不定词片语的用法。那首先呢，它是副词用法的话，是表达目的或结果，那可以用来修饰动词或形容词。举例来说 ，to avoid rush hour traffic， they decided to set out at 5 a.m. 那为了避免尖峰时段的繁忙交通，他们决定早上5点出发。那这边说的 to avoid 什么什么，就是为了要避免怎么样用来表示目的。再看个例句 ，Dream jobs are hard to get。理想工作很难得到。那在这边我们是用 to get 来修饰前面的 hard to get 很难得到。再我们看看 to be 它的形容词用法呢，是摆在名词或是不定代名词之后来做修饰，像是 a way to lose weight 表示一个减重的方法 ，the desire to be famous 想成名的渴望。那补充一下，如果这个不定词片语前面的名词是这个动词的受词，是这 to be 动词的受词的话，你就要注意一下这个不定词片语它后面要不要再加入介系词哦。举例来说 ，I'm here if you need someone to talk to。如果有需要谈一谈啊，可以找我。那记住，我们要跟某人谈一谈是 talk to someone。那这个 someone 是受词，所以你要用 someone to talk to， 而不是 someone to talk。好，再看到名词的用法，这时候这个 to be 呢，它可以做主词或受词用。假设呢，你一直很想去参观一座壮丽的瀑布，你就说 I hope to see it in person one day。我希望有朝一日能亲眼见到。那等到真的亲眼看到，也许你会说 To see it in person is simply amazing。亲眼见到简直太不可思议了。那这时候 to see it in person 就变成主词喽。好，我们接着回到课文中。
One day, he served a Greek captain some delicious coffee. 40 years later, when Turkey and Greece were at war, the coffee seller was captured. Luckily, the captain found him and set him free. After so many years, the captain still remembered the coffee seller as a friend. In 2013, Turkish coffee became the first drink to be included by UNESCO as part of its intangible cultural heritage list. Today, it symbolizes friendship and hospitality. If you ever have the chance, try some and get a memorable taste of Turkish culture.
Welcome back, everyone. So before the break, we were talking about a story we're going to tell everyone, right?
Yeah, and so we learned that the saying said in Turkey is that a good cup of coffee will be remembered for 40 years.
And we don't know why 40. Why not 20? Why not 30,
I don't
right?
know. I can't remember my coffee from this morning, so I think it was not a good cup.
Okay, well, let's learn the story.
Let's find out why they say this. One day, he served a Greek captain some delicious coffee. 40 years later, when Turkey and Greece were at war, the coffee seller was captured.
Oh.
Okay, so he served the captain coffee, and then 40 is a lot of time has been passed, and then he is captured. So we have a vocabulary word there, which is captain. So in this case, we're talking about the captain of a ship, and this means the leader, sort of the boss of something. So in terms of, a ship, we have a captain of a ship. A pilot on an airplane is also a captain. He might say, you might hear the announcements, "This is your captain speaking."
Oh, I love those announcements.
So you will hear that as well. We also use captains for other things. For example, in the example sentence, after serving in the army for a few years, James rose in rank to become a captain.
So he's kind of like the leader now, right?
Is that a higher? That's right. So captain is a higher rank, means that you have other people below you. You are leading those people. We also talk about captains in terms of sports teams.
That's right.
So
and that's the leader for the sports team, right?
Yeah, that's the top player usually is the captain, is the team captain.
Okay, and we have our other vocabulary word here, to capture. To capture basically is to catch somebody and then you keep them as prisoners and then you don't let them go. So for example, the soldiers captured their enemies and put them in a prisoner camp. So that means they're putting them in a place, perhaps in a little jail, in the prison, in the prisoner camp in this case, and then they just won't let them go. They're not free anymore.
When I think of that word capture, it makes me immediately think of the game Capture the Flag.
Oh!
This is when you have two teams and you have to go to find the other team's You have to go into the other team's area and take their flag without them catching you and bring it back to your side. So you capture the flag.
Okay, well, let's continue. Luckily, the captain found him and set him free. After so many years, the captain still remembered the coffee seller as a friend. So that's why that's the saying.
After 40 years, that coffee was so good.
That's right.
That captain remembered him, and so he makes coffee so well that he gets him free from being captured.
Exactly.
Must be amazing coffee. So in 2013, Turkish coffee became the first drink to be included by UNESCO as part of its Intangible Cultural Heritage list. Today, it symbolizes friendship and hospitality. If you ever have the chance, try some and get a memorable taste of Turkish culture. So maybe you'll remember for 40 years.
That's right, and it symbolizes friendship and hospitality. So when you say a friendship, it's like the relationship between friends, right?
Yeah.
And how about hospitality?
Hospitality meaning how you treat your guests. So when someone comes into your home or visits your country, for example,
That's right.
It's how you treat the guest or the people that you have that you invited usually.
That's right, and then if they treat you really well, then you can say thank you so much for the great hospitality, right? Okay, well, we do have a question for everyone and also for you.
Okay.
So the question is, do you like to drink coffee? Why or why not?
I often drink coffee because it helps me wake up in the morning.
You are one of those people, right?
Yeah.
So you're so dependent on the caffeine, so you feel like you will be tired or you're just so tired if you don't have any coffee at all.
I drink coffee every day. I don't really like the taste of coffee.
Oh, you don't?
Not much.
Really?
So I really do drink coffee because
you want to wake up.
It helps me to wake up in the morning.
So I guess you don't drink coffee at night.
No, of course not.
No?
Not when I want to go to sleep.
Okay.
So, do you like to drink coffee?
Well, I don't drink coffee because I really don't like the taste of coffee.
Okay.
However, though, I don't really mind trying Turkish coffee because throughout the history that we learned and all the fun facts, I don't know, I just want to try a little bit of a taste of it. Maybe, who knows, maybe I'll like Turkish coffee.
Yeah, I think it's important to try, something that's so important to a culture. When you visit a country, you should always try those things.
That's right, be adventurous, right?
And
okay.
Now that we know about Turkish coffee, if you ever visit Turkey, I hope you can try it out for yourself.
That's right, and that's all the time we have for today, and we'll see you guys next time.
土耳其人说，一杯好咖啡会让人记住40年。那我们来看看这句谚语的由来。有一名土耳其咖啡商，他某天招待了一名希腊上尉喝美味的咖啡。40年后，当土耳其跟希腊交战的时候，这名咖啡商他遭到俘虏，幸好那一名希腊上尉就找到他，并且把他释放。哇，经过了这么多年，上尉都还记得那一位咖啡商，看来啊，那一杯咖啡真的很美味诶。我们来看单字 captain 这个名词有很多意思哦，它可以指陆军、空军的上尉，可以指海军的上校。那另外 captain 还可以指队长啊、首领的意思，也可以指船长、舰长。那它还有机长的意思。再来看 capture 这个动词，它表示俘虏或者是捕获。好，我们看了这2天的课文，同学们会想喝看看土耳其咖啡吗？ Matt 老师说他天天喝咖啡，可是他其实不喜欢咖啡的味道，他只是需要咖啡因让他清醒。补充一下 ，caffeine C-A-F-F-E-I-N-E caffeine 就是咖啡因。好，那么课文最后建议我们，如果有机会的话，不妨试一试，感受一下土耳其文化令人难忘的味道哦。那这边一个重点，我们进入文法时间。好，我们来看这个重点是 if 主词加动词，逗号祈使句。我们用 if 去引导条件句的时候，表示可能发生的情况。那如果它的主要子句是用祈使句，就常常用来表示建议啊，或者是给予指示。举例来说 ，If you like this post。Share it with your friends。如果你喜欢这则贴文，请分享给你的朋友们。好，那么以上是今天的讲解，同学别走开，马上回来哦。
Enjoying coffee socially is a key element of Turkish culture. For example, after becoming engaged, a woman will serve her fiancé and his parents coffee. However, before she does this, she will put salt in her fiancé's coffee only. To show he's ready to marry the woman, the man must finish his coffee without making any complaints or funny faces. Turkish people say that a good cup of coffee will be remembered for 40 years. This saying is based on an old story about a Turkish coffee seller. One day, he served a Greek captain some delicious coffee. 40 years later, when Turkey and Greece were at war, the coffee seller was captured. Luckily, the captain found him and set him free. After so many years, the captain still remembered the coffee seller as a friend. In 2013, Turkish coffee became the first drink to be included by UNESCO as part of its intangible cultural heritage list. Today, it symbolizes friendship and hospitality. If you ever have the chance, try some and get a memorable taste of Turkish culture.
Dapo Pond is a large natural pond located in Qishang Township, Taitung County. It was formed as a result of fault activity. The pond is rich in biology. Many different types of fish and plants can be found here. There are a lot of different activities for visitors to do at Dapo Pond. Visitors can bike around the pond or row in the water. The pond is an excellent place to go fishing or bird watching. Come to Dapo Pond and enjoy the serene beauty of nature.
See you next time!